Hello, friends. Welcome on into Out of Combat, the podcast about the previous episode, which was episode 6 of Campaign 2. My name is Moobs Like Jagger. I play Azric on Casters and Cantrips, and we're joined by Maximus Rake, the glorious Dungeon Master, and Bunny Dreadful, who plays the lovable Emmy, the Elf Druid. But yeah, episode 6, that was a good one.
That was a really good episode.
I was very curious to see which direction you all would go at the beginning. I was interested because you were kind of in like a stalemate here of basically the city state versus everyone else on the island, right? And I don't know which way you all were gonna go. I mean, you're trying to walk the line at this point, but we'll see how that goes.
Because we were at the gym, and Max was like, "Hey, have you guys talked in your secret chat?" And I'm like,
"That's why you messaged us earlier."
I messaged today. Like, I kind of figured what we were gonna already do. We were gonna go the diplomatic route, but I wanted to ask just in case people wanted to be murder hobos, and we chose diplomacy, and which I assume that's what we're gonna do anyways, because we already pissed off one city state. We're not about to piss off
another. I don't want to piss off more people, but also I'm not just gonna murder. But like, here's the thing, I'm surprised that you're surprised. Are you with Emmy? I come from a whole people of druids, and their whole thing is about protecting their home, and they don't like outsiders.
That's not what surprised me. What surprised me for you is nobody really pushed to take the druid's side either and learn more about them.
I did. I tried. They did not want to talk. They were not very forthcoming, but I'm very curious. I tried to learn about their religion. They weren't really talking. I tried speaking to them in Druidic, like, "Hey, I'm on your side." And I told Samuel, I was basically like, I was ready. That's why I literally said at one point, like, "Oh my God, am I going to have to fight my friends?" That was me saying I'm going to take their side, because that's like what Emmy's entire life experience leads her to side with them.
Yeah, because you could have just ditched that nerd Samuel and said, "See you, dude. Kick rocks."
I was about to. I was ready to ditch him and take the druid side. And if my friends took up arms against me, I was going to cry, but I was going to be a bear clawing their faces off while I cried. So I don't know.
And Emmy becomes an NPC.
Emmy does believe in diplomacy, and specifically we'll learn some stuff in the future about, even though her people are like that, that's not necessary. She does not necessarily think she does not believe in like our way or the highway. Right.
It was going to go diplomacy route because we have Emmy and we have Cooter, and Cooter detests violence, even though she relishes
even though she's the most violent one. That melts everyone's flesh off.
But Azric wants to get paid, and that's a lot of gold on the line. We're all broke. We're trying to get a ship together. So yeah, Azric is gonna walk the line of whatever's gonna work so he gets paid. And he wasn't about to murder a bunch of druids for it. At the same time, so it was like, we kind of strided the line, trying to find the best common grounds. What's the word called? I don't know.
Compromise. Yeah. Well, I thought Azric did I think you're really leaning into his charisma and his skill set, because you were able to really turn that around. It felt like it was going nowhere, and we were going to just be stuck in a stalemate. And then at the last minute, you somehow convinced them, like, "Hey, just let us do this one thing, and then we're going to do our best to fight for you." And they didn't have to believe you. I wouldn't have believed you, but you pulled it out. I don't know. I was just really impressed. That was really, really cool.
Rolled a 21 on his persuasion.
Yeah.
So
thanks for from the hug of Samuel.
The guidance hug.
The guidance hug.
Yeah. That was really good. And I was surprised by a lot of things. I was surprised by that, and I was also surprised that we got a bunch of loot. And I was surprised we didn't die in the lava.
I was also surprised by the loot. It was like a happy surprise, but we were all scared to take it.
We were all so scared. My God. We got really good loot.
It reminds me of the derelict ship that was in like episode 1 or 2 when you were like, nope, fuck that, not going over there.
Yeah. Real quick, though, can we talk about the loot? Because this is like I think a good place to talk. We don't really want to like take an aside to talk about that in the episode, but we got a couple of really cool items.
Mm-hmm.
We've got a cloak of the manta ray, which will let the wearer breathe underwater and increase their swim speed to, I think, 60 feet.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Which for a seafaring campaign it's almost vital in a way.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's huge. It is huge. And then we've got the staff of the python, which is cool. It's a staff that you can throw on the ground. It turns into a constrictor python. Very cool. We got some really good potions and spells that I don't know if I'll talk about spells because I think you'll be learning about those as Taj starts casting them.
What's really cool is the staff of the python is it turns into the giant constrictor snake, which you all fought the previous episode.
Yeah.
So you kind of see what they can do.
No, are those random rolls?
Like, yeah, I was just gonna ask, did you specifically pick those items or were they random?
The items were random, and the encounters are semi-random too, some of them, because I'll look for things like what makes sense to be in a jungle or in this area, and I'll get like an array of different things and then just roll them up. So it was random that you got the staff of the python and then fought pythons before. So
and the cloak was random too, because that feels very lucky. Like I'm
super luck.
Psyched for that. That's gonna save somebody's life.
Yeah, it was very, very interesting treasure rolls.
I'm so excited. And we have some gold. We're going to get a bunch more gold soon. I'm like very excited because I feel like last campaign we went to town and just tried to find magic items and didn't always have the best luck. And then we tried to get tattoos and that kind of went sideways too. And I'm kind of curious, what kind of magic items can we find in this world where magic is treated so differently? Mm-hmm. So it's going to be really interesting. I'm excited to get the money and go try to find some stuff.
Next derelict ship we find, we better go.
We gotta go. We gotta do it. Yeah.
We're not going to be able to buy magic items, you know?
Yeah.
You've got to think too. So in like the area that you're in, because when you say how magic is treated differently, arcane magic is treated differently.
Oh, that's right.
Arcane magic is treated differently. You also have sort of the nature primal magic, which is everyone, you know, some in the city states, a lot of people outside of the city states. And then you have said city states there are all divine magic too. So it just depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah, that's true.
And then you have the pirates, which they don't give a shit. And they're all about arcane magic. So
yeah,
let's meet some more pirate friends.
I'm excited to rule lawyers around being a warlock. Because while it is arcane, it's provided from a divine origin. So let's see if that holds up in court.
Yeah, I mean that's Azric's lawyering, but it's also total BS.
What is total BS? Why?
It's the dichotomy versus him being a warlock versus him being an ASMR. So he's got a little divine touch to him.
Yeah, that's Adric's spin, and then he's gonna ride or die with that.
You're saying his magic doesn't necessarily come from the divine power. Not all of it.
No, that it is
not
divine.
Most of it.
Because
like, who's your patron? That's what I'm trying to figure out, and I know you're not going to tell me.
Wink.
Give us a hint. Give us a hint. I want to know. I love warlocks, and I'm so happy you're playing warlocks. So I'm excited to learn more.
Patron, creepy dream or memory.
First off, before we get into the dream,
okay,
Maximus.
Yes.
Why are you playing favorites over here? I mean, I know that Moobs is a beautiful, wonderful person who deserves it, but also the rest of us want to have some creepy dreams too, okay?
Well, I mean, campaign 1, he played a paladin, right, who was very much in tune with his sort of, not patron, but this divine being who bestowed power upon him. And then now he's playing a warlock who has to be sort of in tune with whatever being that gives him his powers. So
campaign 3, I'm writing my entire backstory with this in mind. I'm just warning you ahead of time.
Why not?
The subheaders. Give me the crazy dreams.
Give me the crazy dreams. I want them. Yeah. That's all. The whole character's gonna be about dreams.
I mean,
everything.
It's more than possible that if we encounter another entity that Emmy taps into it, then you can start having creepy dreams.
I don't think she will, though.
Yeah.
Doesn't seem like her.
So
yeah, you kind of sprung that on me, Max. I was actually really shocked. I was like, what? And then the dream thing, I was like, oh man, it's Ron all over again.
Well, about that, do you feel that how do you feel that Azric is going to react differently than like Ron did, right? Like they're two very different characters.
Well, you got a little taste of it today, of Azric's opinions on the gods. So I would say it was subtle, but yeah, Azric is not a fan of them. It's not like he doesn't believe them. He knows gods exist, gods are real. It's just for whatever reason that people may find out later is he does not have a good relationship with the divine gods.
Yeah, and that's an interesting point because in a magical fantasy world where where the gods are actual physical beings, it brings an interesting perspective of like I don't think anyone doubts that they exist, but they just think that they're kind of shit.
It's like Brandon in season 1. She didn't think they didn't exist. She just felt like the term God was like, okay, like sure.
Yeah, but we postponed for a second, but I want to circle back to that dream specifically, like how Azric thinks he's going to handle it, like what you all thought about it.
Well, this time it's not a riddle to Azric, as where the dreams were riddles to Ron, and Ron was struggling deciphering what these dreams meant. I think in this case, Azric knows what's going down. So I'm kind of prepared how to role play it, but I think it's going to come down in the moment.
And it's very different dichotomy with the two dreams, in that with Ron it was like information, it was a message to decipher, whereas this one was a warning.
Yeah. It's like oh fuck, it's happening. But yeah, I'm curious what you thought, Bun.
Oh, like what Emmy thought?
Because Taj and Emmy watched him choking in air.
Yeah, but Emmy's really gullible. So if Azric tells her he's okay and acts like it's okay, like yeah, she's perceptive, but she's just so willing to give. Like I feel like we all know these people, that they're smart, they're perceptive, they're really wise, but they're so willing to believe the best in people and take people at face value and give them the benefit of the doubt, like just like that they'll kind of like trick themselves into not seeing the truth. And she's so far that person that she's not really sure what was wrong with you, but you were like, yeah, I'm fine. And she's like, oh, okay.
I kind of thought that Emmy was going to run to Azric and try to wake him up or stop him from choking.
I was about to. And then snapped out of it. So she was definitely having this moment of like, is he okay? What do I do? Panic. And then I didn't get a chance to do that. But I did think about it. So
I did like that Taj came over.
I did too.
Taj knows what's happening. Like, she doesn't know, but this is not the first time she's seeing this.
Yeah, and Emmy also knows that Taj and Azric are much closer. So it might as well have been her like, what, so yeah. I was also further away from you. I was at the very front of the cave.
So that's Emmy's take. What is Bun's take as a player? Because Bun knows.
Player?
Yeah, you heard it. Everyone heard it. But
Yeah.
I don't know that I processed it very well, to be honest. I was more focused on the Azric choking on water that wasn't their part than what the dream itself was part. Like that kind of like drove it out of my mind. Because when I'm playing, I try to really be in my character's mindset. So sometimes when I'm not privy to a scene, my brain will just kind of like not absorb it very well. But I do love warlocks, and I feel like I'm scared for Azric, and I'm scared for Moobs that he's going to have to make some really hard decisions with this character. And I'm one of those players that when I play a warlock, I kind of commit to the bit. Like I don't just, I've seen games where people go warlock and they kind of like change their mind when it gets hard. They're kind of like, I don't want to serve this entity. And I tend to go all in on this entity is my everything. So it's hard for me as a player because I don't know. I'm like worried for Moobs. That's my thoughts.
Yeah.
Moobs, I'm worried for you.
Talking to Max before we started, and I was telling him about my character's backstory. Yeah, you're right.
Right to worry.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't want to spoil anything. I want to
get ready for this is Rick to show up. No, I think that's fun. I think that's fun and exciting. I've watched too many campaigns where people kind of, we're like, and I'm like, no, let's go dark with it. Let's get weird. Let's take this where it goes and see what happens. I think it's fun. So I'm really excited to see that both of you are leaning into that a little bit. I'm not saying you have to make decisions that are bad for your character or the party. I'm just saying you're clearly willing to lean into it. And that's what I think is cool. So.
Thank you. We got
Moobs knew the job was dangerous when he took it. So.
Yep. I signed up for this.
I just love it. Some DMs ignore Warlock patrons altogether, and that's okay. But I love when they don't. And I love when the player is like, I love when you're just like, let's do this. So. Yeah. I'm so biased
I'm ready.
about Warlocks.
But I don't know what Max has planned, so that's what I'm excited for. Is what's going to happen.
That's also why I'm worried for you. I know what goes on in his brain. You're.
Other thing I want to commend Max on is your ability to make amazing NPCs that we as players or maybe in the community like kind of attach themselves to. Like everyone hated Branus at first, and then they loved Branus, and then and now we have Samuel, who's like this incompetent kid that we don't even know he's there sometimes. And then when he talks, we're like, oh gods. And then but when it comes to combat, like all of a sudden something flips for Samuel, and then he's always clutch. He always comes in. Yeah. It's like halftime. He shoots a 3-pointer and he scores, you know.
It feels in character somehow too. Like it doesn't feel like, oh well, they need help, so I'm gonna make him be good. Like it doesn't. It feels right. Like he's that kind of person that's totally a fuck up until the minute where you really need him not to be. And I love that. I think that's really cool.
And for me, like mine's mindset, like he's like an 18-year-old like kid who's like trying to do everything he can to get this thing that he really wants, and he wants to make his grandpa proud of him, and he really wants it. And he's just like socially awkward, like doesn't know how to interact with people, but like he has a good heart and just wants to do the best he can.
Up at 18. We probably all were.
Yeah.
The difference was we didn't post it on social media.
That's true. Oh, I feel so bad for kids these days.
We old, son.
Yeah. We're old.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. We can be young in D&D. Forever young. That's the secret to eternal life.
Yeah.
Everyone play D&D.
Amazing.
Are there any Patreon NPCs we might encounter this season?
Yes.
Fuck yeah.
I didn't know that. Oh my god, I was expecting you to say no. So excited.
Yes.
The Patreon NPCs are my favorite NPCs, I think, because a couple of my favorites are ones that you've created, Max, but the Patreon ones always they feel so like visually unique somehow. I think it's because they have more time to sit and think about it, and you're not making one character, you have to make a full cast of characters.
Yeah.
And so I'm really excited.
It's going to be interesting.
Oh,
but yeah, there's definitely
Okay.
Patreon characters and NPCs that are out there.
I'm excited. 'Cause, everyone that's been introduced have been awesome.
I just wish we could play more than once a week. That's my only complaint.
Max would lose his mind.
Yeah.
I can't.
What if this is just your job though? Like this is all you had to do during the week was just like play on D&D.
Then I think the story would be better. But if that's all I had to do,
Would you do it, though?
The
Like,
story
if
is
that was-
fantastic.
If that was, I was gonna say I can't imagine it being better. But what if that was an option? Would you do like full-time DM?
I mean, I think I'd be like, all things equal. Like if I could, if everything was equal, it's like, hey Max, you want to keep doing your job now, or just be a DM and nothing else would change? Fuck yeah, I'd be a DM all the time. Like, why wouldn't I? It's way more fun.
Yeah.
The dream.
Yeah,
The
I'd do that in a
dream.
heartbeat. Like, why wouldn't I? Because then I could, dedicate more time, because I think to like making, I think I say making the story better, but dedicating more time to really digging into some of like the storytelling and like world building and some of that stuff.
You
Some
do
of the
an amazing
things,
job though.
yeah, some of the things of like trying to shore up some of the things that I'm not what my strengths are, because I just haven't been in some of those backgrounds. Like I've never been a writer. All that kind of stuff. So just research, learning, that kind of thing.
Could have fooled me, my friend.
Yep. Yep.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, next week, very excited to figure
I'm
out
so excited.
if we will actually get this meeting to happen, or even if we cared, because job's done technically.
That's true, actually. But part of the job was to we can tell them now what to expect at least. So
So we'll see what happens next week for Casters and Cantrips campaign 2.
Yeah. See you all there.
All right, thank
See
you
you
everybody.
then.
We'll catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.